So one of the things that my body's been telling me is to start taking the progesterones, and then I realized, okay, well,
Did you say that again?
I started taking the progesterone for the brain injury for many years ago, and just using the cream, and there's been, I could feel a major difference, just a really complete shift in many things, and it's not totally obvious how much you put it on and when, and I found when I lost it, well then I couldn't put it on, and then I found it, so then I put it on again. That sort of, which is not...
you probably your body orchestrated that.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming, actually. And so then I, paid a little more attention just to my cycle and other things, and, doing that. But then as I did that, and I could see just the major shift that had in a lot of my even thinking about relationships, which, most likely some of these relationships that are coming up, even they're going out and socializing, is a consequence of the sun going from being in Leo. And whenever it's in Leo, it's the strongest anyway, so the other things are not as strong. Then it was Virgo, so I was working on my computer for 30 years. And then now it's in Libra, so I just basically don't really, just, it's that's why there's been a major tendency in the last 6 months, say once a week to go, wow, whereas before that I thought, why would I want to waste my time, when I could be working on my computer? That's been a shift. And, I'm still, it is a little bit more balanced, but I could see just the body's, what to call the body's energetic support of the thoughts in my mind is probably the opposite of how perhaps it occurs, or maybe it's a linkage both ways, I don't know. But I definitely in my mind can see a major difference from that. And then also I realized that in terms of some of the people I've been involved with, really since this leg was broken, there's just, it ends up being, it's like, okay, where can this go? Can this even go anywhere or not anyway? Or it's just a real slow process. And then, meeting this other person just accentuated that difference. And, just the difference in, and so now I'm working on my leg more, which I think that, my head being more freed up as a consequence of the hormone shift, then freed me up to see, okay, well, there's also this issue, so then I'm working, you kind of go back.
Well, they're the same thing.
Yeah.
So here's a way of looking at that. As the sun goes into Libra, then it's saying in the same way that you were taking a masculine hormone to rebalance your menstrual or your feminine energies, because in Chinese medicine we would say, one flows into the other, the yin flows into yang, yang flows into yin. And so they're moving back and forth. They're not polarities. They never are. For example, where this flows in is that if the sun is in Libra, then it allows the moon to take some place, because the sun and the moon have to dance together. So the moon represents that feminine energy. And so now by feeding the hormonal balance, you allow the yin and the yang, the male and the female, to harmonically as well come into balance. The left leg is the feminine. Right. It is receiving. Right. So talk about relationships, and this was broken. It might have been broken because so much was stuck in it that you just couldn't allow a relationship. Right. So now what you want to do is say thank you, and let's open it up. Let's suck in from the earth. Let's suck in and allow the receiving to come to me, so that the feminine part can be expressed out, can be used in relationship, but also the feminine receives. Right. Because sometimes the feminine is so afraid of destruction that it doesn't allow itself to be receiving.
I mean, I've been trying to do that, but this is not, the head was new information. This leg has not been new information, but it's still been a blockage. I mean, how do you really deal with something where it's been a blockage for a long time? I have been giving it color. I have been trying to move it and bring up energy.
Well, you're doing it yourself. I would recommend that you let go of doing it yourself and let somebody help you. Because that's exactly what this is talking about. Helping, receiving, that can shift your attention and pull something out that you have not noticed. That's why I have people work on me. So that it's great that you're sending it color, and the fact that you're sending it color is probably very much about the shifting of the receiving, the energetics. But there may be some other points of reference. You may need to go back to the moment that you broke the leg and clear that, so that whatever might be still a thought form, a conclusion, or part of the purpose of breaking it, isn't still locked in there somewhere. You may need to go into another lifetime that will rebalance that, so that everything starts to move. Again, when we focus on one thing, we often feel that it's just not happening and it's too slow. And that's the beauty of, and I know that you're very good at multitasking, but sometimes, again, push your attention over here or around the hologram, and then suddenly this will not seem so slow. It was slow because you weren't feeding it the rest of the energies that are related to it. And so sometimes you just have to, spend an hour with somebody, spend 4 days doing the incarnational work to shake loose of something that's leaping around. At the Light Institute, we work on ourselves 3 times a year, and sometimes in between, whenever something's coming up or something feels stuck, let's see what it's connected to. It's not us, it's just what we're holding. And so we can release it.
And so how does it relate to these two, this situation, which is difficult, I feel?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You've got to let go of its difficulty.
Well,
and find, I know. But again,
or maybe not difficult.
The mind will always say because it's difficult. On the other hand, it might be the perfect vehicle of your soul's growth. And so again, what I'm saying is if you amplify what's true and important to you in your life, then it might be something from the other side of the equation that allows it to flow. The very first lesson in healing is that everything is connected to everything. So you might have trouble in your head. You need to work on your big toe. And this may be true in that case. Yes, it's difficult, and we can all acknowledge that. But the more that you hold that, the more that you create that. So you want to use your power, especially someone like you who can orchestrate programming. You want to take that programming out of this is difficult and begin to focus on, as you were saying in the beginning, look how easy this is. I'm almost at the end. I can see now how it's going to play together.
Well, that actually, the part with the software, just the software is going extremely well. It's the people.
Yeah, but that's a good thing for you. Why do you have so much trouble with people?
Well,
you think you know, but you may not know.
Well, I think it's because of Pluto and Libra, aspect in the 3rd house in Sagittarius. So I got that the other day. I'm like, oh my God, it's my own Pluto. It's not somebody else's Pluto.
Good, excellent. And just remember that Pluto is also rebirth.
Right, well, I mean, it's
so you've been through the purification, and you've been through the death. It's time for the rebirth. And for rebirthing, you do want to balance your male and female energies. You do want to rebalance your sense of what is a relationship. And how do you want to participate? And what do you want back? What do you want back in that left leg? So you have to expand the conversation. You can't just lock it into here.
Thank you.
What else? What else?
Could you talk about the triple warmer?
Yes. The triple warmer is a meridian that flows through this 4th finger, the ring finger, and up around the back of the neck and over the ears here. And we think of the triple warmer in classical Chinese medicine interpretation as being the 3 burners of the body. That you have to have these lower, the sexual energies, the digestive energies, the liver energies, the sugar energies, the emotional energies, the upper energies, the pumping, the heart, the opening, the breathing. That all 3 of these triple burners, have to work together. So this meridian allows them all to be activated. And so sometimes, for example, when people are doing squeezing the lemon, squeezing the pubococcygeus muscle, to stop the flow of urine, for example, it pushes the kundalini, it pushes the energy up, and people will feel it heating up around the ear. They will feel the triple warmer heating up. So if you are cold right now, and your feet are cold and your hands are cold, or you're feeling funny sensations here, a great thing to do is just to grab your 4th finger and twist it back and forth. And that will stimulate within a matter of 30 seconds, so I can feel it already. It will create heat in your body. And that heat will allow energy to flow again through the major trunk of the body into the higher octaves of the body, and it will balance you. So this is wonderful thing. In fact, twisting all of your fingers will rebalance your inner organs, and it's very, very important for the meridians and your organs. And if any of them are particularly tender, then you know that that one is not getting the juice it needs. And so, but again, the triple warmer is this fourth finger. Just move it back and forth. And again, it's interesting that in some systems of medicine, it's the water finger, and yet it needs the fire. So you want to stimulate that so it comes in balance with the heat and doesn't douse the heat. So let us be healthy and know that your body will always show you what to do. So if you have a gesture, this is for you, body. It will help. It will heal you. Great love to you all.